birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Well, we are back, and boy, am I glad to be back. Well, I missed y'all last week. I was on vacation, but we're back here for what will be an amazing race here in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. Here in the Summer Series at Goat Locker, and tonight we're going to be hitting the track that is just legendary, Indianapolis, and we are going to bring these Indy cars out here. They're going to be screaming around here at 230 miles an hour, and these guys are going to be having to deal with what all comes with that at a track that is so legendary, and it has not gotten any easier over time at all. It has been just a constant struggle. It used to be an endurance thing. It used to be all about making it to the finish line, and it's not that way anymore. It is it's still about making it to the finish line, but it's all about timing your runs, fuel mileage, positioning yourself where you can make those passes. It is an incredible race, and tonight going to be doing a similar version of it. Qualifying is currently going on. We got a little bit, it says 45 minutes up there at the top, but don't be afraid, we will be changing it. Of course, want to thank our sponsor, Lincoln Tech, for their sponsorship of this series. And hey, want to talk a little bit about the car show. It's going to be on Saturday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Indianapolis. What a way to lead right into this car show. If you're in that area, if you're in Indiana, why don't you go on by and check it out, and maybe even meet a couple Goat Locker guys. They're gonna have their setup up there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So definitely go check that out. But here tonight, we are here at Indianapolis. You can see the little short schedule is a fun summer series, and if fun it has been so far. Iowa was very exciting. Scott Rankin takes the victory last week. No broadcast, but hey, they still put on a show at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Ryan Pendleton going to lead 22 laps out of the 35 to win that thing. Brian Provo comes home in second. Nathan Graham in third. So not that many races in this series, just 8. So if you're wanting to win this little championship, and it's just a little fun little deal, nothing to it's just it's a fun summer series. Is Goat Locker's main series are kind of on a break, and it's a great way to have a fun little get together, try something new, and these guys have been pretty open to this. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this whole thing plays out. But right now, Ryan Pendleton sitting atop the standings with 2-point advantage over Scott Rankin, Patrick Gravick in third, Jimmy Garner in fourth. He's actually tied with third. He's not here tonight, so at least I haven't seen him yet. So we'll see if that makes how that's going to shake everything up. But it's going to be cool to see, and looking forward to it. Well, we do have cars on track, and they are putting down a lot of fun things. This is fun for me because it's a lot of times it's the same old every single week on these stock car ovals. So it's cool to see something a little bit different. And 4 laps of qualifying here as you watch Brian Provo, who has put himself on the top of the standings on his 4th lap and final lap. So a lot of these guys are already done qualifying. You can see there. Oh, Scott Rankin crosses the line, and now he will take over that top spot as he does complete his fourth lap. I think he's on his 4th lap right now, so he may be able to even improve upon that. We'll go on board. Scott watches and puts down his lap. This is a fixed setup, so not too much as far as qualifying, but these guys can make these changes that they make in the car with the weight jack in the front wing, the rear wing. I don't know if they could change the rear wing roll bar, but definitely the front roll bar, excuse me. And Scott Rankin 4:19 there, and that is good enough for a pole at the moment. Just another car on track right now is Robert Barber, and he is just completed his lap, 40.544. That's good enough for 4th place. Still a few drivers that have yet to qualify. You have Timothy Stubblefield, Scott Phelps, Jesse Necula, Trevor Trago, and Jonathan Barker have yet to do a qualifying lap. So we'll see if they decide to put down a time. Got about 10 minutes in this qualifying session. Give these guys enough time to get their laps in. But if you're still looking to make a qualifying effort, you only have about 2 minutes left in this thing. So we'll see if anybody jumps out there and tries to make something happen. But Indianapolis, take a look at this racetrack. You know, it's a legendary track. It's hard to really say anything that you don't know already. I mean, very old track. It's been around for so long. Currently in the hands of Roger Penske, and I mean, you see it there, 2.5 miles, 9 degrees in the turns, completely flat on the front. I don't know how true that is. I'm questioning that a little bit. There's probably 1 or 2 degrees, but it might be. But 4 turns makes it unique. Those long straightaways and the way these cars deal with dirty air, you have to be able to make adjustments on the fly. You're going down into turn 1. You really have to lift if you're in traffic to make sure that the car stays planted. The big thing is, you get tight off the corner. The front end loses all downforce behind somebody. You sail off and you knock down that turn 2 wall. You see that in real life, and it's pretty much the same here. But as you get through turn 1, you kind of lift a little bit, and that sets the tone for the rest of the lap. So if you're by yourself, it's all about hitting turn 1 just right and then following through. But each corner, very similar in turns 1 and 3, very similar in turns 2, the way you attack them, and 4. very similar as well, but they all drive a little bit different based on where you are on the track. It's just interesting. Turn one is very hectic, very nerve wracking. And I'll tell you what, it'll be very, very hectic and nerve wracking tonight because we're going to be doing a 3 wide start, just like they do in real life. They did a practice in the practice session, and I tell you what, it went really well. So that does not bode well for the race. I'm sure Ryan doesn't want me to say that, but I think that I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. I'm interested to see how it's going to play out, but it's really cool that Ryan's doing this. I mean, obviously, for a track like Indianapolis, you want to do something that's interesting and fun. And it looks like we are just now crossing over in 10 minutes. We'll get the grid for you as soon as we possibly can. Just waiting for the session to flip over, and then we'll get right into it. But let's take a look at your race analysis while we're kind of waiting around. 100 laps here tonight. Pit road speed is 60 miles an hour. They do have a pit road speed limiter, so shouldn't be any speeding penalties, I would imagine. So unlimited tire sets. I love to see that. That's going to be cool to see. You be able to go down and get as many tires you want, but I just don't know how big a difference that's going to make. 3 wide start. Like I said, 100% fuel load, fixed setup, but they do have those in-car adjustments that makes this series so unique. Is the ability to actually make adjustments on the fly in the race to help with the car in traffic. And the fuel run, 27 to 32 laps. So you might be thinking about fuel early. You maybe want to get up front. Some folks might. Some folks may just want to hang out and be there at the end. We'll see what they decide to do as far as fuel saving. But in real life, they get back behind in the draft. They lift a little bit. They have engine maps that can help save fuel as they roll, and so it's important to be managing that all race. It just seems like they're driving in a big square rectangle all race, but man, it's so much mental things that you have to do, and then you add a 3 wide start on top of it. I mean, it's just going to be crazy. I'm excited to see how this is all going to play out, and actually the first IndyCar race on Indianapolis I've ever called, so I am really excited to see how this is going to play out. We do have, looks like a little bit, maybe right at 21 drivers here tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the grid if we can. They are really flying, so let's jump right through this. Scott Rankin, Brian Provo is on your front row. Ryan Pendleton, Robert Barber, row number 2. Row number 3 is Mike Browning, Nathan Graham. Tyler Justice, Michael McCarthy, Jacob Ellingson, Scott Formosa. 11th, it's going to be Alan Marshall, Tyler Brown in 12th. 13th, Joe Hobbs, Matt Knights in 14th. 15th, Brandon Wallace, Cameron Weisenberg in 16th. 17th, Scott Phelps. 18th, Jesse Necula. 19th, Trevor Trago. And 20th, Jonathan Barker with Timothy Stubblefield rounding out the grid. All right, here they come around turn number 3. They'll go through the little short chute here into turn 4, and then we'll get this thing underway. And hold on to your lug nuts. It is going to be a wild one here. As you can see, a lot of space being given, a lot of respect here. I think that's something that Ryan talked about here early in the race. So want to give as much space as you can. And normally they get kind of spread out pretty quickly in these cars. So pace car is off, getting ready to go green in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. 3-wide start here. And into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. 3-wide start. We're under green here at Indianapolis. So far, so good. Everybody being respectful as they go through 1 and 2. And you can see Scott Rankin already with the lead, going to start to snake them down that backstretch. You see that happening in real life, just trying to break the draft as much as you can, as Robert Barber took a look to the inside, and that brought Brian Provo. He said, okay, I guess I got to go now, and he's going to dive down to the inside. But Scott Rankin able to hold him off very, very easily. But they come out of turn 4 to complete lap number 1 of 100. Better strap in. It's going to be a long race. You can see him snake all the way down the front straightaway. Everybody so far able to get through cleanly. No issues. Great job by everybody to get through. That's impressive if somebody's in the wall back there. Somebody's wrecking down to the inside wall. Oh, my goodness. Joe Hobbs, hard contact in your first caution of the night. As soon as I said something, And Alan Marshall was the one that made contact with the wall. No fast repairs in this series. You cannot afford to make those mistakes early. And you can see right here, Alan Marshall also, who made contact with the wall, but Joe Hobbs, the one that really had a rough go at it right there. Let's see if we can go back and go back far enough to see what happened to Joe as he just gets loose off the corner. On board, Joe Hobbs here. Let's watch, see what happens. He's got a little bit of wash on the front end. He's out of the groove. You can see he's having, oh yeah, same thing that happened to Alan Marshall. And then boom, that is all she wrote. So we'll back it up just a little bit just to give you that little. So right here, he needs to be down at that white line. You can see he just did not make it. And once you miss it, there's no just lifting and getting it back. It just doesn't work that way. So whenever he goes down to the corner, you'll watch his steering wheel. You're going to see, oh, it's too late. He's got to turn down a little bit earlier than that. And just trying to take it easy. And you can see what happens whenever you're not running full bore on it. I think that's something that people don't really talk about in the IndyCar is that these cars are made to, they're designed to run full bore. They're made to they're made to go full throttle. And so if you're driving around here kind of, half throttle, especially in the corners, just taking it easy, sometimes it can really bite you. And I think that's might have been what happened there. You just don't have the speed on the front end. You start to catch a wash of the guy in front of you, and you just lose all downforce. And fortunately, that's what happened there to both Alan Marshall and Joe Hobbs. Both those drivers out of this race. Matt Knights is also sitting on pit road with some damage. I didn't see what happened to him, so we might go back and see if we can find out. But yeah, he is on pit road as well. A couple drivers coming down pit road to get fuel only. Looks like Timothy Stubblefield, Trevor Trago, and Cameron Weisenberg coming down pit road, or Weisenberg. See if we can go back and find out what happened to Matt Knights. See him slow at the entry of pit road, so he must have had some sort of contact. Just really slow on entry of pit road and makes a little bit of contact. So hopefully everything's okay with Mr. Knights here. I don't know if he's having some sort of issue with his car, but you can see makes a little bit of contact. Oh, knocks his rear wing off. So that may be that might be an issue. I believe this was under caution. So he is under caution. I mean, where everybody's slowing down here. And yeah, I don't know what happened to Matt. Hopefully he's all right. There's nothing wrong, and maybe it's just a screen flickered, a wheel had an issue or something like that. It's hard to say, but he is on pit road with a lot of damage. Well, this is the tough part about this particular type of racing is that these caution laps are really, really long. We're gonna have a couple lap down cars. So iRacing, just like in the NASCAR series, they'll go an extra lap to allow lap cars to be able to pit. So this could be some long cautions until we get this thing strung out. What I'm hoping for is that we're able to get this thing going and try to see how this strategy is going to play out. What these guys are going to hop up here and try to get the lead. They're going to swap the lead back and forth. They're going to ride in line, try to save fuel. That's what I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do here tonight. And, let's take a look. Take a look at our cameras that we got here. See who we got on cam. Well, we got Jacob Ellingson. We got Nathan Graham. Ellingson currently running in the 9th position. Nathan Graham is in the 6th spot. Both those drivers pretty much where they started. Didn't really get a whole lot of time to get going. So I'm sure they're ready. Get back racing. Get this thing rolling. Lights are out on the pace car. If you're new to IndyCar, they do have single file restart, so that should help get everything kind of spread out. But you don't want to get too far back. You want to make sure you don't lose that draft. It's going to be important that you stay in it. Don't lose the draft. That could See those gaps that are back there. If you're back in the 20th, that 15th to 20th positions, it can be very, very difficult to get that back. So you want to try to get as tight as possible here on this restart. We'll see if anybody pulls out a line early. Should not pull out before the start-finish line. But Scott Rankin going to lead us down to the green flag here on this restart. Gets a good jump. Everybody gets through here. You can see that field spread out really quick with those single file restarts. Mike Browning actually letting a driver go. Going to let Nathan Graham go around on the outside. That's smart racing. I like it. All in line. You can see the gears. He's running in 5th now, actually going down to 4th. That's how slow they're going. At just 205 in the corner. These guys can do 220 plus. As you see Ryan Pendleton, he has to let out of the gas really quickly, and you see how much momentum he loses. He's going to fall back behind Browning. I don't know if he may have made contact with the wall. He's going to make more contact. So big issues there for Ryan Pendleton as he is falling back quickly. Let's go back and take a look at a replay real quick and see if we can see maybe if he made a little bit of contact with that wall. Oh, yeah, you can see he gets tight off the corner. We've seen that already. How quickly it could all go wrong here. And he hit it pretty flat. Hopefully that's not too much damage. But, I mean, it's not going to be great. That right front is so important here. He's going to have to put a lot of weight jacker into it and really feather that thing. It's going to hurt his speed down the straightaway. You can see Tyler Justice already taking up a lot of ground. Out of the front of the, Jacob Ellingson has had some sort of trouble here. Ellingson down to the inside wall. No caution, though. My goodness, what happened there as we were watching somebody else, and how quickly things go wrong. There it is. Gets tight on exit. Gets that inside wall. Very delicate cars. You cannot let that happen, and unfortunately for him, he is going to be out of this thing. Scott Rankin still out front, and I think what we're seeing is what highlights IndyCar and kind of separates it from, NASCAR is how tough it is. It looks like it would be easy. Oh, just hold it wide open. It's got a lot of downforce. It'll be easy just to drive around there. It's not. The changes in aero are so tough to deal with, and they're so quick. They happen so fast that in the way these cars are just planted down into the corners, if you do not get that entry speed just right for the exit, you can't lift. You can't just lift and get on the brakes. You get on the brakes, you're going to spin out. And if you lift, all it's going to do is just take more downforce off your car, and it's gonna get even tighter. So that's a razor's edge here is what we're doing. So that's why we're seeing guys who are very, very fast, very quick, have trouble here. It is a lot to deal with if you're not experienced in this track and car combo. But I'll tell you who is Scott Rankin here out front. He is having no issues right now. Brian Provo is trying to keep tabs with him, but Rankin slowly pulling away. He's about a tenth faster than Provo last time by. So I would imagine Brian would be able to catch up to him pretty quickly with the draft. Maybe just making sure it takes it a little bit easy. Don't push that car too much. End up like others. See, look how difficult it is. He is not able to get down to that white line. And I think that's where you would ideally love to be. But right now, Scott Rankin has everything you need. Let's watch as he goes down into turn. See, right on that white line, gives a little kiss, comes off the corner. You can see he's actually a little bit loose there. Right down to that seam, not quite, had to lift just a little bit, but still has all the downforce in the world. I mean, the car drives no better than it does right here when you're out front. So he's enjoying that clean air, much like it was at Iowa to start the season. He got out front, that contact with Ryan Pendleton early, and he was able to get out front, never look back. So Scott Rankin continuing that trend right now. How much fuel is he using? That's the question. We'll see if fuel becomes an issue. We talked about it. Right around 30 laps is what these guys can run. So it's going to be quite a few pit stops if we don't have caution. So something to be considering. Go back a little bit. Got this battle here. This is Tyler Justice and Ryan Pendleton. Pendleton not falling, able to weather the storm of that damage. Unless he gets a caution, he's going to hope for a caution. If he gets one, he'll be able to go down and repair as much as he needs. But honestly, the car looks like it's doing okay. These guys are well off the pace of the front pack. Michael McCarty ran a 42 flat, and the top 5 were running 41 4s, all of them. So these guys well off the pace of the leaders. So it's hard to say if it's damage or just the fact that they're so spread out. You can see just how much different it is. But between first and fifth is a 4-second gap, and everybody's spread out. You can see folks trying to hang on to the draft, stay there, that toe down the straightaways. But we're seeing a lot of separation here. It's just guys dealing with the handling. A lot of these folks don't know how to deal with weight jacker, don't know the actual right settings. That's what's so fun about this series. We've got a lot of folks that are new, and that makes races very interesting. Now, Scott Rankin out to a 1-second lead over Brian Provo. He is continuing to pull away with that clean air, and Brian not able to close the gap, which is really surprising. But just out for a Sunday drive, and he's going to do for quite a while. Lap 15 of 100, still a long way to go in this race. As man, we're starting to see a few drivers get caught up together here. Michael McCarthy, has had a really rough couple of laps. Going forward, see what he's dealing with. You see, he just has no draft on the front. I don't know if he's got a little bit of damage. You can see that steering wheel is kind of all over the place. He's kind of going back and forth, back and forth. So I don't know if he's got some damage or it's just the fact that he doesn't have a toe. He is sort of the lead car. Oh, somebody is wrecked. Scott Formosa has wrecked on the entrance of pit road. He's trying to get turned around, but I don't know if he knows him. He has got a ton of damage. No caution on the Speedway. I mean, that car is not going to drive very well at all. Oh, you can see just major damage. He's going to limp down the front straightaway. I don't know why he's back out on track. He should have just went right down pit road. Maybe he's hoping for a caution. Going to go down onto the access road. I mean, the left front is barely hanging on, and oh, and it looks like maybe Jesse Necula has had some sort of issue as well. So, my goodness. Car's handling starting to go away here as caution does come out. My goodness, what happened? Oh, and Jesse actually gets really loose coming off the corner. Had that weight jacker bumped up a little bit too much, and he got extremely loose. I heard some guys talking in practice that the right rear was wearing a lot more than the other tires, so may have leaned on that right rear a little bit too much, and caution does come out. Scott Formosa still going down the straightaway, back straightaway, trying to get into pit road. The car is completely jacked. I don't know. It looks like something out of a carnival. I don't know. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to him. We really couldn't see. Back a little bit further and give you exactly what happened. Driver going around on the outside. Out into the corner. Guy just gets loose. Same thing that happened with Necula. Guys starting to feel that loose condition as they continue to try to add a little bit more to it. That right rear starts to burn up a little bit and it gets a little bit loose, and if you're not careful, it can definitely sneak up on you. Well, all right, expecting pit lane to be wide open, and it is. Fuel a definite concern. You do not want to be out there doing green flag pit stops. That would be pretty bad. So everybody going to come down pit road to see the graveyard of cars that are not able to continue. Oh, somebody hits the wall. Who was that? Oh, that is Cameron. Cameron Westerberg gets on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he's going to go around. So, my goodness. Check it out here on the replay. He's coming down. He's trying to catch up to everybody. Got a little behind, and you're going to see he's going to grab those brakes just a little bit too hard. And whoop, goes around, front wing comes right off. So the entrance to pit road is cursed. I'm going to start pitting from the exit. I'm going to go around and turn back down the wrong way, I think, because this has not been been a good spot to be. Well, the race for off pit road was a good one for Brian Provo as he does take over the lead. Comes out of pit road. I'll tell you what. I don't normally do this. I'll try to keep everybody. I do have some people I can grab, so I'm going to grab our leader at the moment. Now, I'm talking
as long as you
to Brian Provo. Going to cut him off so he didn't tell any secrets. But Brian, got you up into the booth, man. You're able to win the battle off pit road. You got the lead. How is that car driving at the moment? You kind of was losing sight to Scott Rankin there. What happened?
Yeah, just the rear's getting a little too hot. Probably just overdriving it just a tad into the corners on the entry, and car doesn't like it as much. So at least this run, I'm going to try to save a little bit more rears and hopefully keep Scott behind me so he has to burn some of his tires up. But it's driving good. It was just that, this couple laps got him hot, so I had to slow up a little bit to not put it in the wall.
Well, what adjustments do you make now that you're back in traffic? Now you're out front. What adjustments are you going to make here to make sure that you've got that car dialed in to try to get that lead?
Yeah, man, I think it's big ones just on the start, and then hopefully hold it off the backstretch. It's a little harder to pass today, it seems like. So, I mean, Scott, he's a good driver, so I'm sure he has some tricks up his sleeve to try to get around me. So just holding that inside line and, try to keep that draft broken, keep him behind me.
All right, well, there you have it. Thanks for talking to me, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie.
There you have it. I love to get those driver perspectives and get the idea of what you need. I will admit I don't know too much about IndyCar, just enough to be dangerous. And so it's good to talk to these drivers, see what they're feeling, and see what adjustments they make. And, like I said, a lot of times we don't get to talk about making adjustments and stuff like that in a lot of the NASCAR series that you normally see here on B-Speed. It's really just adjustments between, kind of tightening and loosening the nut between the wheel and the pedals. Is usually how you make it work. So, you make adjustments on how much throttle input, how much steering wheel input, that type of thing. But here, you can make adjustments in the car, and they are definitely significant. So, a lot of guys had trouble with those right rears. We'll see if anybody kind of changes how they drive. And somebody maybe back here who can get up towards the front. Barney with the green flag in his hand. We're going to go back green. Single file restarts here on lap number 20. And Brian does get a great jump. That's going to give a tow. Here comes Nathan Graham down to the inside. Going to keep Scott Rankin honest. I think that outside will prevail, but I like Nathan Graham going down here, being aggressive. Don't let Scott, he's obviously shown to be very, very strong. Don't let him breathe. Don't let him think too hard. You give a guy that can go up there and pull away from the field an easy time, that's pretty detrimental for the rest of the field. So Ryan Pendleton is back into this thing. You see Robert Barber now going down to the inside of Nathan Graham. Graham not able. Oh, it's going to get tight off the corner. He makes big contact. Big wreck. Oh, my goodness. Nathan Graham upside down. Is he going to get collected? He is laying on his head. Our safety team needs to get out there and stat. I see he's all over the laying upside down. Big damage there to that car, as that was a massive hit as Robert Barber makes contact with the wall. That car just got a little bit tight and was trying to save it and bounces off the wall right into Nathan Graham. So a couple leaders taken out early. Let's go back and see if we can Go back a little bit further than this. And you can see down to the inside, but that changes the handling characteristics. And you're going to see Robert Barber. Oh my goodness, just a terrible, terrible thing to have happen. You know he didn't mean to do it. You can see right here, watches the car just sail there on exit. He's along for the ride, doesn't have anywhere to go. And my goodness, look at the ride that Nathan Graham took there. Good grief. That's the entrance to pit road. Got him again. That has not been a great place. On board here with Nathan Graham. Watch as this all unfolds. Watch the ride that he goes for. These are race cars on the ground, but as soon as they lift up any one of those wings, they become airplanes pretty quick. And man, tell you what a great view right there, right through the arches or whatever that is. Don't know what that is. All right, anybody in chat, let's take a little time to trying out some new stuff here with the broadcast, and would love to know how the audio sounds, specifically the my voice. And what you hear as far as interviews with drivers. Let me know if something's too loud, too soft, trying out something new. And would love to know, get a little bit of feedback on that. Sounds good, just say it sounds good. Appreciate it. Well, a lot of exits so far, and I can't say I didn't expect that here. I think 100 laps was that's 50% of the Indianapolis 500, so this is 250 miles. A lot to ask of new fellas here in this series, but yeah, I mean, about half the field is out of this thing now. Looks like only 9 drivers remain in this race. Matt Nice is up to speed. He is going around. Got the lucky dog. Don't know if we didn't see him get too much damage. Don't know if he had some sort of problem or whatever, but he is him getting the wave around right there. He's in 12th position at the moment, but still 3 laps down. So right now, only 9 drivers left in this thing after a field of 21. A green flag back out. Ryan Provo with a good jump, and Ryan Pendleton down to the inside. As it looks like they skipped ahead and went ahead and shortened the pace, the caution laps. I appreciate that. As you see, Ryan Pendleton trying to make that inside work, but just doesn't have the momentum built up just yet to make those passes here. You really need to be able to get a run to get around the guy down the straightaway, but he is still going to be there. Scott Rankin going to hold on steady on that outside. That outside is likely to fail, and it does. So Scott Rankin back in second. That's allowed Provo to pull away, but Ryan Pendleton's going to lose a ton of downforce on the front of that car, and that's going to pull him back to Tyler Justice, who's going to go to the outside as Ryan Pendleton guards that inside. Tyler Justice going to go around the outside, and it looks like Trevor Trago going to follow or try to follow in his tire tracks, but Tyler Justice, you can see how quickly Ryan Pendleton was trying to take that second position, but because of the lost momentum of not being able to complete the pass, he is going to lose a spot for his trouble. And Tyler Justice doing a great job right now, but I tell you what, another driver who's doing fantastic is Trevor Trago. I hope I'm saying that name right, but you look there, he started in 19th position and just cracked the top 5 there with that pass on Mike Browning. So up 13 spots from where he started is Mike Browning is getting a run on the. But Mike has shown a lot of patience here tonight. He is not pushing that car a little bit too hard. Oh no, somebody's down on the inside. Michael McCarthy. Oh, big damage for the 9 of Michael McCarthy, and caution is back out. So now we're down to 8 drivers. Oh, my goodness. 8 drivers with over a third of the race still left, or 2/3 of the race left to go. I don't know, 3/4. my Mississippi math is starting to kind of come through. So caution back out on the speedway as Mike McCarthy is out of this thing. Take a look and see what happened if we can. And just same thing we've seen. It's no different. Every time it's the same thing. And it's just a lack of experience, I would imagine, of just not knowing how the car is going to handle. He goes right down to the line. As you can see, he let the car drift up a little bit too early. He let it kind of mostly made contact with somebody. Woo! Barely. Matt Knight's able to sneak through. But, yeah, I mean, just unwinds the wheel a little bit too early. And once that happens, you can't recover. Makes contact with the outside wall. Same thing that we've seen all night long. And unfortunately for him, he is out of this thing. So now, 9 drivers all on the track. 8 drivers on the lead lap. So, my goodness. Got some guys coming down pit road. The top 3 stay out. Well, Scott Rankin in second, going to give up that second spot to come down and get fuel right at the window of 30 laps. So not necessarily needed, but like I said, if we do have some green flag runs, which it is possible, the more and more cars go out, the less likely likely to have green flag runs. So not a bad strategy to go down and get fuel. Make sure that you are going to be able to stay out as long as possible. But the top 3 are going to stay out: Brian Provo, Tyler Justice, and Ryan Pendleton. Well, we got to give out these awards. Got to make sure that we do the right thing. I keep forgetting about this, so it's definitely my apology here. But we got to give out the Big Fish Barbecue Pole Award, and that's going to go to Scott Rankin, who did start on the front row, started first. So definitely thank Logan Big Fish Barbecue for their sponsorship of the Pole Award this season in all 3 summer series. So definitely thank them for that. We also got plenty of sponsors. I mean, gosh, there is a laundry list of them. We got a lot of cautions. We'll see if they go green here, and they are. So we'll get to those in a moment. But Brian Provo are going to lead them down to the green flag. It's Provo, Justice, Pendleton, and Rankin, your top 4. Still a long way to go in this thing. Is Tyler Justice is going to go down to the inside and he's trying to take over second place at the moment. Same thing that happened with Pendleton last restart. Pendleton able to keep the momentum up, and now Scott Rankin going to get the run here on Justice. See if he can get the toe that he needs. Justice actually does a great job and actually going to go back down to the inside. I just don't think that pass is going to work here at this junction, as Justice does blink out for just a moment. But as they come off of turn 4, Pendleton will have that second position. But I think you got to get that run, and you got to get to the inside before the start-finish line of that middle way to the backstretch. If you try to make a late run down to the inside, right now at least, I don't think it's going to work. But Provo out to a 1-second lead as the fellow that has led the most laps so far is running back here in the 4th position. So he is back in dirty air. We'll see how he deals with it as we go on board with Scott Rankin here. A lot of the data that you see here is not accurate, but the gear is accurate. So you can look and see that he is in the 5th gear and he's shifting up into 6th. Staying in that draft. driving down to the bottom, gets right down to that white line, shifts it down to 5th, stays in 5th all the way off this corner here. You can see he's getting a little bit loose, so got a little bit of a loose situation. You can see him really just slight movements trying to keep that thing under, but he is now 2.2 seconds back from your leader. It looks like they're going around a maybe lap bar. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's Cameron Weisenberg. Obviously, some big damage to that 32 machine. He's off the pace and barely get through the corners. And that's scary for everybody on the track, and not that he should get off the track. I don't mean that at all. I just mean that he's so off the pace right now, 195 compared to everybody else's 220 at this point. He has to go from these right now. He's 215, going to slow all the way down to about 185 miles an hour. That is well over 15 miles an hour off the pace. Cameron not having a great time, but he is still out on track, going to finish this thing. I like the folks stick it out, even if the car is not handling good. But Provo still your leader, and he has got a sizable gap back to Ryan Pendleton, his teammate. And, you know, he said he wanted to get out front and kind of set sail a little bit, and that's exactly what he's doing. And now he doesn't have to worry about somebody up under his rear wing or somebody in front of him. He's out there doing qualifying laps at this point. No draft to really pull him down the straightaway, but it doesn't seem to really matter. The track conditions are pretty interesting here today. So now it's just all about him. He's not having to manage traffic, not having to worry about who's running where. He's just focused on making sure he keeps the balance of the car. He talked about the rear tires getting a little bit too hot. He wants to make sure he does not continue that trend, so we didn't lose the car on exit. But now it's just hit those corners every single time. So much that they have to deal with, and you think, well, this is the easy part. No, it's not. It is so tough. Holding on to these leads, hitting these laps every single time, staying ahead of the car. Make sure if it starts to get a little bit loose, you don't bring the weight jacket down just a little bit. Or mess with the front roll bar. I mean, you can do a whole lot of things. He's going to have to continue to do that, especially as the fuel starts to burn off. There's 16 laps. These three stayed out, did not come down and get fuel there, so they have a little bit lighter load, which allows them to be a little bit faster. But they have to account for that. They don't have that much weight on the car. They have to account for the change in how the car is driven. So still, while he's out here by himself, he is still laser focused in making sure that he's doing everything right. We've already seen it doesn't take but one mistake, one issue, and you're out of this thing. So we'll see. Battle for second place. Tyler Justice going to go around the outside. Ryan Pendleton says, hey, you can have it. Want to make sure we don't lose as much time as possible. And now he's going to fall back to the third position. So that contact sort of pancaked it through the wall, Ryan Pendleton did. So it doesn't look like the damage was too bad. That car is still driving pretty good. So Jonathan Gofield says, just tuning in, must have been a big crash. No, there wasn't, actually. It's just a lot of little ones. A lot of little crashes. Mainly a little bit of inexperience with dealing with traffic. I mean, Indy is it will throw you for a loop. Indy cars at ovals, it's a beast. It's way more than you think. You don't have a whole lot of time to react. We saw a lot of drivers get tight, push on exit, hit the exit of turn 4, turn 2, and even I think one off of turn 3. So a lot of folks having those issues. The no fast repair really thins them out pretty quickly. But I'll tell you, I got to say, Mike Browning has done such a fantastic job of just playing it safe. I've seen him make a lot of really safe moves. Playing passive, he is running in 5th, and you know, he'd love to get up there and battle for the lead, but he's not pushing that car too hard. He's staying exactly where he needs to be, staying within a toe, and letting Scott Rankin sort of pull him around this track, that car under him, and he has done a great job so far. Started 5th, running 5th, but has been able to stay out of any kind of major incidents, and want to shout him out. Mike Browning doing a great job here. Brian Provo out to a 4.2 second lead now, as you can see there ain't nobody back there. He is out there all on his lonesome. He's running the fastest times on the track by quite a bit. Everybody else running about 6/10 slower. So you have to wonder how much fuel saving is going on. That fuel is going to be an issue at some point, especially now that things are green. A caution could definitely equalize everything. But as the cars start to fade and the field kind of slims down, there's just less variables for somebody to make contact with the wall, have some sort of issue, and a caution to come out. So you have to be thinking about fuel and be on the right side. You do not want to be on the wrong side. So we'll see what Provo's strategy is. He's definitely pulling away, and it seems to be effortless out of him. On board with Trevor here as we watch. Trying to run down Mike Browning at the moment. Well, that fuel run is right at a little bit before lap 30, depending on how much saving that you're doing. And there's a lot to that too. Under caution, these cautions that we've had, you should be able to. They have an engine map inside the cockpit change that is Ryan Pendleton real close to that wall there off turn number 3. But you can change the engine maps on these cars that allow for fuel saving under caution. So there's a lot of tools you can do. You can actually change the engine maps during the actual race, depending on where you are in traffic, what you're trying to do. I don't think anybody's going to do that. I think you do that with your right foot. But as you get spread out, it's going to be harder and harder to do that. You don't have the toe that you would normally have in a big pack. But see these drivers right here. This is Ryan Pendleton, Scott Rankin, and Mike Browning. Pretty close to each other. Definitely close enough that each one of them has the toe down the straightaway. Rankin had kind of closed into about 7/10, but hasn't really been able to get any closer than that. So interesting to see what the fuel strategy is going to be here, what folks are trying to do. Now, right now, Scott Rankin is the first driver of the group that pitted. So the top 3 right now. Not that many green flag laps, still a significant amount of fuel. They'll have to come in and pit before Scott Rankin if it does, but we'll see how long they last. Right now, 25 laps with those cautions. Should be able to go over 30 before they have to come down to pit road. But I'll be excited to see a green flag stop. So Larson in real life have trouble with that. And we saw Cameron Weisenberg early in the race have that issue, where he gets on the brakes a little bit too hard and goes around. So it's definitely something to think about. Don't know how many folks practiced any green flag pit stops, but there's a lot of speed, a lot of time to be had, and a lot of time to be lost. Rankin slowly catching up here to Pendleton. Pendleton has been flirting with that wall in both short shoots. Quite a few laps. Going board right here. It's got to be a tough thing tonight because it seems like the car is sort of building loose as the runs go on. Oh my goodness, you see how close he's pushing it. The car is building loose on the long run, but you're getting tight on entry, especially behind cars. As, tell you what, Tyler Justice did not have a good turn right there. You see Ryan really struggling, but here he comes. Tyler Justice got to give up the goods, come down pit road, and he is going to be your first pit road entry under green here on lap 47, just a little bit before halfway. We should be able to go on one more stop from here if around 30 laps is the number. Down into his pit box. Pull up, down. Really, really cool. If you've never watched IndyCar, it's really cool how they do it. I mean, they do it pneumatically. The car has built-in jacks, and you've got a fellow that puts the fuel in. Then another, it's basically an air hose. They stick in there and push that air, and that lowers those jacks, pushes the car up on all four wheels, so just one guy can jack up the whole car. They change out 4 tires, drop that jack, and the car takes off. Really cool. Love pit road technology, all that stuff. All these different series do it all differently, different rules. I think that's cool and very unique. But watch it here. Scott Rankin has gotten to the back bumper of Ryan Pendleton, and pit stop's likely looming here early for Ryan. He's going to have to come down pit road soon. We'll see when he decides to pull the trigger. Tyler Justice out there running him right in front of these drivers right here. So Ryan might do some good here trying to hang on to Tyler Justice. Use a little bit of toe. Tyler's going to be pretty slow compared to these drivers as the fuel load definitely adds weight that is significant. And when you're dealing with, just thousands of a second, that weight that is in those cars definitely makes a big difference. You're going to see, I think Ryan Pendleton should be able to run him down pretty easy. He's got colder tires than these two. Scott Rankin hangs the right rear out off of turn 4 as Brian Provo, your leader, going to give up the lead, come down pit road to make his, should be next to last stop. Going to give up he had a massive lead there. Going to give that up, come down pit road. Just don't want to make any mistakes here. No speeding. You can't speed. Gosh, if you have a speeding penalty here, it's you just got in a little bit too hot. You do have a pit limiter, but you got to make use of it all. He's going to come off the pit road, and he should, if everything cycles around, he's going to have a pretty nice lead. Still going to be able to hold on to it. He just hopes for no cautions. And I tell you what, coming off of pit road, getting on and off pit road, that is scary. If you've never driven at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway here on iRacing, there is a bump on the access road into turn 1, or right out from pit road, actually, that will scare you. It'll make you nervous. You might swallow your tongue or something. If you're not careful, it'll scare the mess out of you. So have to be careful coming off pit road. Nothing about this is easy. I think that's where the appreciation for the Indy 500 comes from. Just how intense this style of racing is, and this track provides such a unique form of racing. And these cars are specifically designed for the Indy 500. They run I believe a Speedway car for the Speedway ovals, and I think they have a road course car, and then they have one that's specific just for the Indy 500. So this is a unique car. I don't know if iRacing has that. I would imagine they do. But definitely cool to have 3 different unique chassis, similar to NASCAR in their different chassis for Super Speedway and other tracks. Right now, Ryan Pendleton is your lead. You can see he's coming down pit road now. Going to give up that spot. So he's going to give it over to Scott Rankin. And we'll see what these guys can do. I think everybody can make it on just one more stop. I think from Tyler Justice on is definitely capable of making it that extra little bit. So it looks like we're all on the same strategy. It's just going to be how quickly get on and off pit road and not have any issues. Watching Pendleton get his 4 tires, and you run it out of fuel, you can see just how long those pit stops can be. As Brian Provo is going to drive right on by. He's up to speed. Pendleton will continue to lose time to Provo, who is coming off the turn 2. So Scott Rankin still out on track. They did come down pit road. 26 laps to go as somebody is spinning out on track. That's Matt Knights. And he goes for a ride, and caution is out. Racing with the 44, Jonathan Barker. Both these drivers many laps down. And it looks like Matt Knights through that corner just fine. Going to get a little bit out of the groove there. Comes off the corner, gets loose, right down to the inside wall. And like Queen says, another one bites the dust. Well, you would think that's bad for those who pitted, but actually I think it's going to be pretty good. Scott Rankin still had to come down pit road, so he'll have to give up the lead here, go down pit road. But I think the biggest, unfortunately, I don't want to call him a loser, but the person that this did not help at all is Brian Provo, who will likely regain the lead once these guys come down pit road, but unfortunately will completely wipe out his massive lead that he had. So he did not want to see that caution. Everybody else, it kind of works out like it's supposed to. Pace car going to bring them around. I want to thank Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of this series. If anybody's watching from Lincoln Tech, we definitely appreciate y'all. Hope y'all are enjoying the broadcast. It's a lot of fun to bring y'all these races, and appreciate y'all coming on board here at Goat Locker. Definitely love all of our sponsors, partners here. Goat Locker has been doing it for a long time, but they can't continue to grow like they have been without help of our sponsors, for sure. All right, everybody coming down pit road that has not made a stop. Rankin, Browning, Grego, and Brandon Wallace, along with Tyler. It looks like Tyler Justice may have come back. No, he's catching up with the field here. So those guys are going to come down pit road and take their stop. Well, we'll take a minute to thank a couple of our sponsors. As we'll thank Lincoln Tech, of course, for the sponsorship of this series. They are one of the country's largest automotive technical schools, and it's really exciting to have that partnership here with Goat Locker. Good to have partners with the same mindset, and definitely Lincoln Tech is one of those. InVets, who is us. And InVets, an Indiana veteran nonprofit working to bring veterans to Indiana to live and work. Their sponsorship of the ARCA series tomorrow night, and then the Relevant Sounds truck series. Relevant Sound, new music label based out of Nashville, Tennessee, giving back to the veteran community. And of course, we got all of our favorites. Got Jam Printing and Promotions, been around forever. Veteran owned, provides all of Goat Locker's promotional stuff. Cruising Classics out of Columbus, Ohio. And green flag is out. Looks like they are definitely shortening caution. So we'll try to get through all the sponsors when we can. But we are back green. We don't want to miss any action here on this restart. with just a little bit over 40 laps to go. Provo gets off to a good jump. Got Ryan Pendleton right behind him as they go snaking down the back straightaway. And here comes Scott Rankin down to the inside of Tyler Justice. Take over that third spot. He wants to stay with those top two and not let them get away, and he's able to complete that pass down to the inside. We'll see if Justice is going to fight back. Looks down to the inside. Scott's going to have to defend. Works that outside, but Justice not able to make that pass work. Going to get a run down here. We'll see what he does. Not quite there. He's going to take a look, but he's just not going to be able to complete that pass. We have not seen that work just yet, and actually going to push up a little bit as he really struggled to get that grip through the center of the corner. See Scott Rankin sort of running a higher line there. Coming off the corner, going to get a big run here down the back straightaway. That's Provo again, able to get away. Right now, 7/10 of a second. You can get to about 1.2 seconds. That should break the draft. So you see he's trying to drop as many cars out of the draft as he can. You don't want to, even your teammates, you don't want them to be back there hanging on, saving fuel at, on your behalf. Now, I don't think that this is technically a big deal because they've just pitted. But they are going to run this whole run at a lighter fuel load than those who just came down pit road. Scott Rankin, Mike Browning, Trevor Prego, Brandon Wallace, those guys going to have a full fuel load here. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Obviously, not matter too much, but it's still a disadvantage. Talked about it earlier. In a game of thousandths of a second, that little advantage could play pretty good. Taking in here on Brandon Wallace. Number 99, he started 15th, run 7th, been able to avoid most of the incidents, has gained quite a few spots currently. Losing time to those in front of him, but he's still having a good run. I don't know how much experience Brandon Wallace has in these cars, but trying to get that seat time, try to figure out what works and what doesn't. Back up here, Mike Browning starting to push up here on Tyler Justice, who's just not had a great time since his restart. Tyler was out for the longest. He came down earlier than anybody else, so he's been on this set of tires and fuel for 14 laps. I don't know if that's making a huge difference, but he's definitely falling back, not having. Saw him kind of be aggressive there on the initial start, but then quickly fell back from Scott Rankin and into the question of Mike Browning, who's still doing a fantastic job here. Watch him try to keep up with Tyler Justice, maybe run him down and try to take over that fourth position. But just to run down the list of sponsors as we have a chance. We've already talked about the three that are in Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Veterans for Life Foundation, Right Now Roofing, Alexander PC, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, and Big Fish Barbecue. And cannot thank those folks enough for being a part of Goat Locker. The Goat Locker guys are very appreciative of people who want to be a part of what the mission of Goat Locker is, and I think it's important to kind of always remember what it is. I mean, what are the Goat Locker guys trying to do? Are they, how does sim racing, playing a computer game in your house, how is that helping veterans? Well, I'll tell you, that's not all they're doing. The league is just secondary to what they're actually doing. They built they have a trailer they're going to be carrying around with a sim rig that these different car shows and things that are going to try to pique interest of veterans, give them a chance to try out a sim, try to get out there, maybe recruit a few friends to come and race here with us. But it's all about therapy, and it's about getting together with like-minded individuals, and a lot of times you deal with a lot of issues, and I don't want to really speak to any of it because I was not in the military, but just to kind of echo what I've heard from those who in this league, it's such a nice thing to be able to come in here, have the competitive environment, and have that camaraderie. It's so valuable. I think we all like a little bit of social interaction and having a competitive space that you can come race, have a good time, and it can definitely be therapy for those who need it. And that's what it's all about. How the Goat Lockers, the Goat Locker boys, they want to give back and to the community. They want to be a beacon for the veteran community, something to just to give back. So it's really awesome what they're doing, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. So go check out, if you're not, go look on the Discord if you're a part of it. Check out those sponsors, all the ones that we talk about, and definitely go support them. That helps Goat Locker when you support those who support Goat Locker. It's a big deal. So definitely, if you're looking for a PC, go check out Alexander PCs. And if you're in Indianapolis or in that area, go check out that car show. Go talk to Pat. See what they got going on. It's a lot of really cool stuff. Well, just kind of clicking off laps here at the moment. Everything is kind of old and steady. Everybody running very similar as far as lap times go, right in the middle of the 41-second bracket. Everybody right, depending on where you catch that draft and how big a tow you get. But everybody's kind of running in that same part. Brian Provo has not broken that draft just yet, but it is quickly fading as he is trying to break that draft and get that massive lead he had before. Not as much fuel saving from the guys behind him anymore, so they may be pushing a little bit harder. But we'll see if he's able to repeat that. So a couple cool things we got some time to talk about as everything's kind of spread out here is they are giving away a couple diecasts. The friends over at Arrow McLaren donated 3 diecast cars, which I think is pretty freaking sweet, and that's going to go out to the race winner, the pole winner, and the best paint scheme that apparently I get to pick in this race. So no pressure for me to pick who's going to get it, but I may have to go back and look once the race is over. There's only 7 cars on the track, and I want to make sure I go and look through everybody before I pick. I don't want to pick just the guys up here running, but let's take a look at some of these paint schemes. You see, Ryan Provo, we're going to give you a little bit extra view here of what they got going on. We got the V-Speed on the front wing. That's definitely helpful to your case there, Brian. But it's a nice looking scheme. It definitely stands out, the gold, the black. Really hard to beat those colors. We got Ryan Pendleton, got a red and black GLR scheme. But I'm not going to give it to him because he's giving out the award, so I think that would be unfair. Scott Rankin got a really nice scheme. I love those red wheels. It seems to work. I don't know about the rear wing, though, and the front wing. It's like rainbow puzzle pieces. But I do like the red wheels. Overall, good looking scheme, and he's trying to get back up front. He's 1.7 seconds back. Been able to close here on the back bumper of Ryan Pendleton. He's going to have a massive run into turn 3, and he's going to take it down to the inside. We'll see if Pendleton is going to be able to fight him off. He had a massive run. Going to be tough for Ryan to hold it right here. Scott thought about it. Go, and Scott Rankin's going to lose it. Down into the entry of pit road. No caution at the moment. He locks him up. 2-foot smash. And he's going to go right down pit road. And Scott Rankin trying to pass for second place. Goes around. And honestly, an incredible save. He didn't touch nothing. Now, it makes the best out of a bad situation. I mean, he's in the pit window. They all have to make one more stop, so this is not detrimental. But let's go back and watch that. That was an incredible save. See, he's got the run down to the inside. It just changes the handling. He's trying. You can see he's loose right there. It's already loose. Watch right here. It's just going to... Ah, goodness, going to lock him down. What a great job of not wrecking that car. And he's going to lose some time, obviously, but turning it, turning lemons into lemonade sometimes is a great strategy. And he comes off pit road right behind Brian Provo, and I think that is fantastic that he comes out right behind the leader, because he's going to be able to draft him. If he can get up to speed, it's going to take a lap for those tire tips to get to where they need to be. But if he can get right behind him and follow that toe, that'll help pull him around the track. He's going to be close on that fuel, but he will need to save just a little bit, I think. But being able to get this toe and not be out there by yourself, I think it's a great opportunity for Scott Rankin, who almost had a disaster into this race, but this could help him. He could have a nice advantage once this thing cycles out. Jessica Kelly says in chat that the let's see, a better view here. The rainbow puzzle pieces are for autism awareness, so that's cool. I like that. I didn't know what they meant. I don't feel too bad. But now that I know that they're for that, I like them a little bit more. Let's go through the field some more as well. We'll take a look. We got a battle going on here as Ryan Pendleton now falling to the clutches of Tyler Justice. Ryan was losing a position to Rankin, and Rankin goes around, and now Pendleton going to fall back to the third position. Mike Browning still hanging in there. He's able to pass for that fourth position. And Mike Browning, oh no, he's going to make contact with the wall. Oh, I was getting ready to brag on him. And he makes contact with the wall. Hopefully that did not hurt him. He's been perfect up to this point as we watch them right in front of him. Weaving down the front. Oh, and Pendleton has to check up as he gets tied off the corner. Getting down to the end of this thing, you can see guys being really aggressive. Just 25 laps to go in this race. So right now, the big interesting thing is going to be where Scott Rankin is going to cycle around once his stops happen. Right now, he is right on the rear wing of Brian Provo. And I just don't, I think he's going to, I don't know if he's trying to go around him or if he's trying to force him into a mistake. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go down to the inside now and go ahead and go on by, as you don't want to let Provo hold you up a little bit. Obviously, Brian would love to do that. And Scott's going to go ahead and get that clean air and take off, as Provo has a 5.5 second lead over Tyler Justice at the moment. Now Provo can move that weight jacker a little bit and use Scott Rankin to pull him around the track. The good thing about that is Scott Rankin is back on the lead lap here in the IndyCar series. There is no lucky dog, see, in NASCAR. So I believe they do have waiver rounds, so you could waiver around once everybody pits, but it's better to go up there and just go ahead and unlap yourself. That way, if caution does come out, hit with the leaders. So. Take a look at some more paint schemes as, it's like Ryan Pendleton. Or no, I don't know who that is. Trevor Trago coming down pit road. Take a look at his paint scheme real quick. It's a nice red and black scheme. He comes down to, slides his tires just a little bit. It comes to a complete stop. He'll get back out on the track. getting close to about 20 laps to go, so we are running out of time. If you're, oh my goodness, oh, I thought Pendleton was getting a little tight there, but Tyler Justice actually coming down pit road, and Brian Provo comes down pit road as well. So both these drivers going to come in for their final stop. And the further you can go now, the further you can take this thing, the less fuel that you have to put in. There's no green white checkers here, so you can use the auto fuel or kind of put just enough fuel to make it to the end. So the longer you can run here for like Ryan Pendleton, Mike Browning, all those guys are going to have a nice advantage when they come out. As Provo 8 seconds in the box. Curious to know if that was tires and everything. Really wasn't watching, but I was looking at the time and scoring. He's going to come out of pit road, and we'll see where he cycles around. It looks like now Mike Browning comes down pit road to make his final stop. But we'll see if that fuel load makes a difference. Scott Rankin's going to have 8 lap older tires than everybody else. If he took tires. Not really sure. Seen jacks go up on pretty much everybody's car, so we'll see. The lower stop time's likely due to everybody taking less fuel. So I don't know if the fuel load's going to matter. Everybody should have just about the same. But Pendleton's still out front, waiting on him to make his stop. Brandon Wallace as well. Brandon Wallace is currently running second. Provo does have the lead over Scott Rankin at the moment by about 4.6 seconds. So Provo looking like he's going to be in pretty good shape. Once everything cycles around, he's already been bit by a untimely caution. He does not want that again. He does not want to see that lead erased that he's built up over this run here. So less than 19 laps to go here as Tyler Justice looks down to the inside of Ryan Pendleton. And looks like Ryan may have wanted to give him that spot. Maybe Tyler a little apprehensive about going down to the inside. And still waiting on Ryan Pendleton to make his stop. We'll see how everybody cycles around, but I do believe that Provo is going to have a pretty nice lead once this thing is cycled out. But right now, I think Ryan Pendleton has gone just as far as anybody has gone all race long. Looking over into lap 30 of this run, he is pushing that fuel far as he can before he has to come down and make his final stop. I don't think anybody would risk just taking fuel only for a quicker stop. The further you get here, as here he comes down pit road now. So Ryan Pendleton gives up the lead, and he will give the lead over to Brandon Wallace as he'll come down and make his final stop. But I think the way they were talking about the right rear wear, I don't think you're going to even risk trying to come in and just take fuel only. Even with 15 laps to go, it'd be a pretty quick stop, but I just don't think it'd be worth it. Those new tires would be pretty dang strong. So we'll see what Ryan decides to do here. Jack does go up. He is on his way. So Ryan Pendleton going to come out of pit road now. Provo has already gone around, and so has Scott Rankin. So Provo will take over the lead. The lead now 4.6 seconds. It is held pretty steady over Scott Rankin once Brandon Wallace comes down pit road, but he does assume the lead. So we'll take a look at Brandon Wallace's game. He's got Hot Wheels. I'm gonna be honest, I'm the judge here, and I do not like Hot Wheel schemes. I don't like them. So unfortunately for Brandon Wallace, he got the wrong judge on the paint department. I do not like Hot Wheels. So he's going to have to win this thing if he wants a diecast. He's going to have to go out there and get this win. Scott Rankin already got the pole award, so he'll get the diecast. Still waiting on him to come down pit road. He walks over to lap 30 now, and they expect him to come down pit road at any point here in the next lap or so. But lead will cycle over to Brian Provo, who has a nice lead, just needs to bring it home. No cautions. He's just begging guys, don't knock down the wall. Don't make any mistakes. You can see Scott Rankin in the distance there, still about 4.5 seconds. Rankin was about a tenth faster, but it's just not going to be enough. He's going to have to gain a lot more time. Brian's going to have a pretty big slide or have to lift, get out of the gas. And even still, I think it's going to be tough. Here comes Brandon Wallace down on pit road. He's going to make his final stop with just 13 laps to go. Provo will assume the lead here. And just has to click these laps off. He's been dang near perfect all night long. I don't expect that to change here. He seems really strong in these Indy cars. He's been in a lot of series, and he's been a really good driver. Definitely wouldn't say he's a bad driver in stock cars, but you don't talk about him too much. But as soon as we went over to these Indy cars, Brian Provo has been a household name here at Goat Locker in this series. He has been really, really strong. At he's 6th in the points. I don't think that's indicative of exactly how good he was at Iowa for sure. I think he had a little bit of problem at one point. I think he had led some laps and ended up in the 15th position. That definitely does not tell the whole story, as he was very, very strong at the Oval. So what a better way to make up for that, to come to Indy and win. He finished second last week at road courses, so at the road course at Mid-Ohio, so not just ovals, but it just seems like he has got a lot of experience in this car, and he's showing exactly that here. Now, Scott Rankin was able to get away similar to this early in the race. Once Provo won that battle off of pit road, it's really been smooth sailing, for him for most of this race. Look, 55 laps he led. That's a lot of time up front. Scott Rankin is slowly closing the gap in, but like I said, he's going to have to really make up some gains here and get within, about 1.5 seconds to start getting a little bit of that toe to really be able to make up a ton of time. He's made up 3/10 in probably 11 laps. Not about 10 laps actually, so not huge gains. You see Provo kind of push off the corner there. That's not what you want to have happen. Crosses the line, lap 91 of 100. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break as we're going to come down to the end of this thing. We got to give our sponsors a little bit of love as we'll come back to the finish. And we're back here in the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series here at the Goat Locker Summer Series. And Brian Provo just about 7 laps away from a win here at Indy. And his first win of the season. Scott Rankin trying to get win number 2. He's going to need help from a caution to be able to make that happen. We've seen it. It's definitely possible. Guys have really struggled on the exits of these corners. Not knocked down the wall. We've seen a couple folks just completely blast the inside wall after contact with the outside. So it's definitely possible. But you can see only 6 drivers still running. Well, there's 8 drivers running. Trevor Trago is 1 lap down after a speeding penalty. Looks like. And then Jonathan Barker is 10 laps down still, trying to gain a few spots. Jacob Ellingson asks if I picked the winner for the best scheme yet. No, not really. I was going to do it a little bit after the race because since the field crashed out, there's only 8 cars on the track to look at. I'd like to give a fair shot to everybody in the field, go back, look through the schemes, and try to pick the winner. But I'm just one man. I can't do it all. Got a broadcast to give, got interviews to do. So we'll try to pick one at some point. Of course, the race winner is going to give one, so I think people in chat are saying that Provo's car looks the best. I agree, but if he wins the race, we're not going to send him two diecats. So he's going to get one for the end of the race. We'll give one to somebody else. But I know it won't be Brandon Wallace. Well, this race is, I mean, it had points of calm, points of excitement. It's had a lot of ups and downs for some drivers. Scott Rankin got out front pretty early, was pulling away, and then Provo has taken over and has yet to look back. Now, with 5 laps to go, Scott Rankin has eaten into that lead a little bit over the last few laps. But I don't know if Provo had to check up a little bit. It got a little out of shape, but Rankin now 3.4 seconds back. You know, I know Provo probably thinking of looking out that front little windshield there, but don't want to have too many of those moments. But I still think Rankin's going to have to really gain a lot more quickly to have a shot. But he's definitely closing in. We'll see if that plays out. These laps are long. They are 41 and a half second laps. So it Provo's going to have to continue to push and keep that thing going. Oh, Ray Ellingson in chat said, can we help you pick? I think that's a great idea. I mean, I don't know how well it's going to work out. Because I think everybody's going to vote for their own driver's paint scheme. But we'll see. I think we can. I think we'll go through some schemes if we have time. And I don't know. They're waving the white flag. Oh, they're waving the white flag. White flag is out because they've hit the time limit. The time limit was 1 hour and 20 minutes. They crossed over that time, so we're not going to run the full distance because of the time limit. Provo takes the white flag, and it doesn't matter now for Rankin. He does not have enough time down the back straightaway. Here comes Brian Provo. He's going to win this thing through the short chute into turn 4. I saw the guy throwing the white flag. I said, what the heck is going on? But here he is, checkered flag in hand, and Brian Provo is going to win the race here at Indy. So those of you who are confused, I tried to explain it on the fly, but the race setup had a time limit of 1 hour and 20 minutes. Or 100 laps, whatever comes first. Very rarely do you see the time limit hit like that. But if you get to the time limit first, once it goes over, everybody crossed the line, then that is the white flag lap. So ended a little bit earlier than we intended, but hey, I think it would have still turned out that way. Nobody was close to anybody, so it really doesn't change too much. Brian Provo is going to be your winner here tonight. He's going to maybe do a little bit of donuts on the front stretch right at the yard of bricks here. He'll celebrate this win. Looks like he is gonna park it right on the bricks. I like that. Nope, it knocks his rear wing off almost immediately. I like that. That's congratulations to Brian Provo. Started second, takes home the victory. Somebody else is doing burnouts. That's Ryan Pendleton. He had a great finish in third place. And well, all right, let's take a look at your results. Let's see where everybody finishes. 5 cautions, 7 lead changes. Provo, Scott Rankin, Ryan Pendleton, your top 3. Mike Browning, man, what a great run by him in that 4th position. I mean, he started in 5th, finished 4th. That is a great run. I think he had a fantastic race, a very complete race. And comes home in 4th. Tyler Justice was in the mix all race long, too. Comes home in 5th. And a little bit of props to Scott Rankin for completely wrecking his car and still coming home in 2nd. Just making good out of a bad situation. I like that. Brandon Wallace there in 6th. Had a great run as well, up 9 spots from where he started. Trevor Trago in 7th. He was a lap down. He started way back in the 19th position. Jonathan Barker, all these drivers, multiple laps down. Jonathan Barker did finish the race in 8th. 9th is going to be Matt Knight, who was 55 laps down. Cameron Wesenberg was 70 laps down. He comes home in 10th. 11th is Michael McCarthy, 72 laps down in 11th. Robert Barker in 12th, Nathan Graham in 13th, Scott Formosa in 14th, Jesse Nekula in 15th, 16th, Tyler Brown, Jacob Ellingson, 17th, 18th, Timothy Stubblefield, Alan Marshall, Joe Hobbs, and then Scott Phelps is going to round out the 21 car field. Well, all right. Well, let's talk to your winner. I like to talk to the winner first, so we're going to get him in here. Let's get Brian Provo into the chat. Brian.
Hey, Eddie. How's it going?
Yeah, congratulations on the win, man. That was a very, very good run. 65 laps you led. You didn't get the lead. You should have led 68, I think, but we hit the time limit. You got robbed of a few laps, but we talked to you there after you won the battle off pit road. You said you wanted to get out front, and once you got out front, man, that car seemed to really sail.
Yeah. I mean, that car in clean air drives really well today. So getting out there in that clean air really was able to push it and get a big gap for that first pit. You know, I thought it was going to be a little bit more pit strategy, but that caution came out right around when Scott was about to pit. So we were both on alternate strategies, and it ended up, paying off on my end on the end.
Well, and there at the end, I mean, Scott was sort of running you back down, but and tell me if that was have to lift at some point where you're just trying to bring it home, take it easy. What was going there that allowed him to catch up?
A little bit of both. I overestimated a little bit of fuel, so it was a little heavier, and then he was super light. He told me he was like right on he was last little bit of gas coming in across the checkered flag. So if he would have went 2 more laps, he probably would have had a pit, or he would have had a save earlier. But I mean, he's fast. He's a fast driver. I just got the better of him, I think, today. Just a little bit of strategy and a little luck in there, but.
Yeah, well, you had a lot of strength at Iowa, and then got caught up in stuff. How good does it feel to come back? I mean, you finished 2nd last week. How good does it feel to come back on your 3rd race and kind of just dominate, really?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was nice to actually finish the oval race this time, so not to the last 10 laps, but it was good. It's a good feeling, obviously, winning, and there's a good crowd out there. Hopefully next week we get a good showing again and bring it up at Long Beach.
Yeah, I think that'll be really fun. I mean, at least it's going to be one of the best looking tracks that we have on the schedule for sure. The beautiful scenery. So looking forward to that. Well, man, congratulations on the win. Your first win of the season. And as always, man, who you got to thank?
Yeah, of course. I mean, big shout out to obviously Lincoln Tech for sponsoring this series. And vets, the Indiana Veteran Nonprofit, working to bring the veterans in Indiana, you know, get them more involved in racing and to like jobs out of the military. We got Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics out in Ohio. Obviously, a big shout out to Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs that awarded Goat Locker Racing a grant to keep working on rigs and giving them out. And then those are some of the big ones. I'll let the other guys keep on going with those.
There is a
But
long list of partners.
it is a big list. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're definitely thankful for all of them. But man, congratulations on the win, and we'll definitely be talking to you more this season, I'm sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Eddie.
There's your winner here tonight at Indy. Brian Provo takes home the victory, and well, I mean, honestly, it was uh, Scott Rankin, very dominant early, and then pulled a little theatrics there at the end. Scott, how terrified were you when you got a little bit loose there off of 4 and had to lock it down to not wreck down the inside of the entrance pit road?
The biggest issue was I wanted to make sure that Ryan's race continued. So it was all about making sure I felt it get loose and I held into it to make sure I spun down, not up. So yeah, save of the day, I think. Yeah, look, I mean, if you take back, you have a look at the margin that Brian came out ahead of me after that pit stop. You take back that pit stop and allow me that pit stop at full speed, I win the race. So look, I mean, it's mistakes. I got back there because I slid through my stall. I slid through my stall 2-3 feet, and that cost me a race win. So that's racing.
Yeah, you were catching him there at the end. You shaved off about a second, 2 or 3 laps, and I think maybe just a lax in concentration, maybe out of Provo, and just some hard driving out of you. But just kind of came up a little bit short here tonight. But you already have the win at Iowa. You had a 4th place at Mid Ohio, and then here you are in second here tonight. Pretty good little showing for you. I know you like these cars. I know this is your bread and butter, so. Just congratulations on that. And I talked to him about Long Beach. How do you feel about that track?
It's going to be very similar. So in Indy and Long Beach are probably the oval and the road course that are most close together for these cars, just with how they drive. It's going to be about precision. You miss a braking marker and you lock a brake, she's over, night's over. If it's going to be about the undercut. If you slap the reds on at the right time and jump people, I would be ultimately, if I'm looking for an undercut, I'm burning 2 to 3 push to passes on that outlap to get the job done. So because once you've got that track position with the reds on, you can protect them a little bit, you can look after them, and then you'll be okay. But yeah, that's going to be probably the most difficult night of the season, and it's one mistake at any point, the race over. So
yeah, well, man, great night tonight. I mean, you had just a one little mistake that kind of took you out of it, and you made the best of it, honestly, with a great save and then just a great heads up opportunity to go ahead and just jump down pit road. So it worked out really good. I thought that was a really good a good call there after that, and come home with second. So congratulations on your second place finish, and Scott, I mean, who you got to thank?
Yeah, I just want to say a big shout out to my wife. Yeah, life's been difficult lately, and yeah, it's just been awesome to have her along for the ride. To the sponsors that are actually on the car, to Neuro Power, to Makoni Setup Shops. I can't say enough about Makoni. They've been fantastic, and it's I'm just really happy I can get out there and hit my marks and show what I'm capable of on the ovals in this car. I'm a bit frustrated that won't have the opportunity to go and have a crack at the Indy Professional qualifying series. Too many road courses, I'm just not good enough. So there's no chances I'm going to qualify. But yeah, it's just good to be back in this car having some fun.
Well, fun indeed. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. That was Scott Rankin. And we're going to bring up your third place driver, Ryan Pendleton. Ryan, you had a whale of a race. You actually pancaked the wall at one point. Did that cause any damage to your car? Were you nursing it there early in the race? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it did. I just kind of lost focus, got into the wall. And yeah, it said I had wheel damage and it was unrepairable in the pits. But talking to Scott, who knows these cars pretty well, he said it was probably my side pod. So yeah, I had a little bit of damage, had to work with it. Luckily, there's a lot of in-car adjustments. Made it manageable. But Yeah, it was very tough to run speeds like Brian and Scott and some other guys overall.
Well, he recovered nicely if that's the case, and able to nurse it home to just a measly third place finish. I guess that's pretty good. I mean, of
Yeah.
all the outside wall hits that we've had tonight, yours was probably the most level. I mean, just pancaked it. A lot of folks just knocked the front, the right front off. So I think you had the best hit of the night and able to nurse it home to a third place finish, man. I mean, so far you've been pretty good. You had the points lead coming into this, and I think it'll be pretty dang close between you and Scott, probably for the rest of the season. It seems like you're a little bit better at road courses. He seems to be pretty good at ovals, so it seemed like you two are going to have a nice little battle. And then Provo just come out of nowhere tonight and just looks like a dominant force here in the oval. So it looks like you're going to have a nice little battle for this championship as we get through the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't sleep on Brian Provo. He's quick. He's quick on the road courses too. So he's been putting in the work, and it showed. And I was happy he won. He dominated tonight. Yeah, we had some admin things going on, and then obviously it was a game of attrition tonight. We lost a bunch of cars. Tough track, and a lot of
Yeah.
times in oval, running by yourself in practice, you can feel one way, but then you get out there with the cars, it goes another way. I was happy with the start though. Hopefully that looked exciting on the broadcast. But yeah, wish a little bit more cars would have finished, but we're getting there. Hopefully guys had fun.
Yeah, well, we noted a couple times. Just this track it will um it it gives you a false sense of confidence just because
Exactly.
it's a quad oval and you can run flat out and you're just like, okay, this is easy. There's nothing really to this, but there's so many things that go into getting these cars through traffic, getting around the track, dealing with fuel loads and tire wear and all that stuff that you have to manage throughout the race. So I think a lot of folks were definitely caught by surprise about how difficult it was. But that's good learning. I mean, a lot of these guys not real big IndyCar drivers, so they'll learn, take that on to the next oval. But next week, Long Beach. I love this addition to the schedule. I think it's going to be a cool. I mean, for the broadcast, it's going to be the best because it looks the best. But as far as driving it, have you run any laps at Long Beach yet?
I have not yet. I've ran there in this car before, and it's a blast to drive. We'll all be smoked. If you have any sort of force feedback in your wheel, you're gonna be you're gonna be hurting after that race. But yeah, looking forward to getting some of those podium shots or shots around the fountain next week from your broadcast. That'll be exciting. It's a fun track. Looking forward to it. Hope everyone keeps showing up. Um, yeah, super excited about this. Obviously, Lincoln Tech's a sponsor. GLR, Pat, and a bunch of the guys are going to be at the car show this weekend. Just a huge partner of ours. So excited to put this series on. Hope they're enjoying watching it. Hope everyone out there is enjoying watching it.
Well, speaking of partners and sponsors, who you got to thank for this third place finish?
Yeah, as always, anyone who supports Goat Locker comes out and races with us. You for broadcasting it here. It's so awesome when you come out and the families get to watch and the fans. I already mentioned Lincoln Tech. Invets just came on board with us. Big things coming with them. Relevant Sound. And then, as always, all our staple sponsors, Jam Printing Promotions, Cruising Classics, which I think we had up on the winning car and my car. Veterans for Life Foundation, Right Now Roofing. Alexander PCs, go check them out if you're looking for a new PC build. Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, Big Fish Barbecue. And once again, just anyone who comes out and supports us, we really appreciate it. We're growing, and we're doing really big things. So excited about it.
Well, there you have it. As I'm throwing up all kinds of stuff on the screen. Well, congratulations, Ryan, on your third place finish.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Appreciate you.
All right. Well, I'm trying to go through this list here and trying to maybe hit the best paint scheme of the night, but it is tough because there was a lot of drivers who really struggled here tonight. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to give it to Timothy Stubblefield. I love this scheme. I saw it early. He called a wreck. I wanted to go back and look and just see if I liked it. I don't know if anybody's still in here to check it to look at themselves, but I saw this early and I knew he had some issues, and I wanted to go back and at least see the thing for myself to make sure it was actually what I thought it was, and yeah, I do like it. So that's going to be your winner of the diecast is Timothy Sofield. He lasted all of 8 laps, but I'm going to give it to him just because I like the scheme. And hey, I'm the judge. They gave me the power, so I'm going to take it. So Provo is going to win one. So if you're out there going, well, don't worry, he's getting one. He won the race. So, Timothy Stubblefield, congratulations on your diecast car. Ryan will get with you, and we'll get that thing to you. Well, we got to call it after that. My goodness, what a wild race. Definitely difficult. We talked about it. Very tough to make and make all that work. It's definitely a deceiving track, but Brian Provo kisses the bricks at Indy. What a race. A lot of fun here. Thank Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of the series, Goat Locker for their summer series. And all you people who are watching, if you're still there, thanks for checking it out. But see Long Beach, we got next week. Worldwide Technology Raceway, which that will be a fun race. A little bit slower track. That'll be a fun one. Road America, which will be just let her eat. It will be a fun road course if you like Road America. Then Nashville, which will be a interesting race. I mean, all these are just so different, and I like the schedule. It's absent of a big track like Auto Club, which I'm appreciative of. Those can turn into wild races. But then probably my favorite track in the world, Laguna Seca, there at the end to settle this thing. That will be a very interesting track, considering how it's slow, having to deal with the corkscrew. Really, it's a nice flow to the track. It's going to be really fun to race, and I think we'll put on a pretty good show. So we'll see you away with the championship. But we got to go to Long Beach first next week. So come on out, check that out. I want to thank all our sponsors. You can see them there down on the bottom. Jam Printing Promotions, Cruising Classic, Alexander Seas, Red Beard Designs, Veterans for Life Foundation, Invets, Right Now Roofing, Indiana Veteran Affairs, Above the Yellow Line, iRacing, Lincoln Tech, and V-Speed. And I'm Eddie with V-Speed. Thank y'all so much for watching. Glad to be back and looking forward to calling the rest of this season. Congratulations again to Brian Provo. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all later.